you're saying him guilty, I give him a pardon. But give him a chance, what? Are you saying do it too much time, I give him a chance?
You give him a chance to come grind him tray.
Boy, I mean, I don't know, Trey. You see, we don't. Me see a thing I develop in Jamaica, you see? And I saw we the people stay. Me see they say a certain man dead. And 99% of what defending a woman. 99% of what defending a woman.
Alvira, oh yeah, me send another video there with the girl, let's say. The law officer, them have to dead back for Dan and kill you. See?
And this man, they gonna pick him up. Out of the house, they gonna pick up shit. You know you see this time in your hand, let's say. The government and the police full force to take over Spanish Town. You use up for your filthy mouth out there to garbage. Like you think when police come. You say, oh, you're a pretty little girl. You're going to mash up your teeth. You see that?
Come really let up somebody else in our box, no? Next victim, so then come we deal with them. Because everybody they come defend and enable them.
Hold on, if we don't come up in the box and talk foolish, just not go stay.
Nobody come.
Please, you not go stay. Alright. See them gone, I'll keep him up.
Drop me down, please, so somebody else can come up. Drop me down.
No, man,
you still the way you can't talk?
Listening to that all.
Tell you just have to do your quick rocks.
No, anybody
Trey,
in the
don't
request
come
box.
back, Trey. You're going to get
If
black.
you don't come up,
so don't come back.
No,
come
but
up.
you see thing I mean, I understand. Alright. So why we defend CMR? But we not, you know, so we have a culture of defending wrong things. We defend CMR. Why we not go out a GP or Horizon go defend a zebra? So they will let out zebra. Why we not go to another land? Go tell them to let out Jack Ure. And the same thing all of them in there. Eh?
No, Jack Ure ain't a different thing this time.
No, me just I said go there go beg for him. Say nobody let him out on that. Let him in for raping. Eh? Why we not go and fire and go defend Emmanuel go say man can't be called Deborah Black. We love defending wrong too much, Reggie. A man wrong.
Alvira, hold it. We have a guest. Make you hear when the guest have us.
Alright, so you see, I think at one point me read say the mother have a video, like have a camera in the child room. And if there's a camera in the child room, why isn't there the video for sure? Like, me not go against the child, you know, because I'm here for the child. But my thing is, where the video gone, we make them have proof to show the cord.
Let me correct it right here. So the camera that is in the child room is a camera that doesn't store, it just runs.
Is that camera with what?
That doesn't store any recording.
No go so. Me have two babies. Me have a blink camera downstairs. And me have a why next on him. I don't know why next can't pronounce it so well, one A or S or something. And me not pay for cloud storage. But you see whatever my daughter do in her crib downstairs, me can watch her live and me can go back go watch the video. So if me not delete the video them take like a couple of days to delete, yes. But the videos are there. So when your child ball out say, oh, something happened to me. Why you never go check the video just to make sure say something happened or something never happened?
Because she's not computer tech, illiterate.
Wow.
And we heard that CMR control all cameras.
You see, I don't know to say when I've done a little research, you know, because there's a lot of things where this is concerned because she's not computer tech.
Who no computer tech? The mother?
The mother. The basically
your mother went up on YouTube?
I know she edit her video them. That's why I really did tell her that. She make it plain so I know she don't know that.
Lady, hello, you no need to be computer tech figure in the blink up.
We know all of that, but as we said, CMR control all camera. Who to tell that he didn't turn it off or plug it up before it happened or after or whatsoever?
Oh, CMR.
So maybe that's why there's no evidence.
Oh, I mean never know that him control all of the camera then.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to you.
Wow. Okay. Because me, the one that all this time say if
because we all read that in the report that there's a camera there. And he said it's not a recording camera that store records.
Okay.
Do you know me ask that question? When they report you there's a camera there, does it tell you what type of camera it is?
And also,
It's a baby monitor camera. That's what it said.
alright, me go tell you something too. Because me did have a friend before me decide to buy a camera for my baby them. Me have a friend who did have a sick baby, you see? And our nurse them used to they give them trouble. And you know what you can do? You see the camera company, you can always go to them. So even the court supposed to know this. You can always go to the camera company to get footage.
No.
Yes, you can.
No, you have to understand that there's not a camera company when it comes to you buying a camera for yourself. If the camera company go have access to your camera, that means it's not for you. We're not talking about a telecommunication network that you pay for this camera in your house. We're talking
You talk about Blink and the rest of them. I don't remember what the...
when you buy your personal camera, it's your personal use. You know, have nothing to do with the company. The company is the maker. They cannot.
That's what you are saying. But listen, let me tell you this. Like me say, before me have baby, I have a friend. Me did buy her a camera, you see, and for some reason she did have to change the camera. I think the storage panel is either you have a memory card or you pay for cloud. And one thing where the doctor them suggest to her was to go through the camera company to get footage of what happened to the child with the nurse, because them been they tell lie on the girl. But the child, every time someone and the child end up at hospital, and the girl get blamed instead of the nurses. She ain't even there home, and as she them a blame. And be sure one doctor tell her say if he go through the company, to get footage of what happened.
Is this a company camera or it's a personal camera?
It's a camera where you buy from, like, you know, you have Blink or the baby monitor company them. A camera where you buy from them, just like how you go buy your Apple phone and
Mama, let me tell you this way you have to understand. You know, which part is Jamaica?
No, America.
You know, let me tell you how dangerous what you are saying is. Where if me buy a camera, the company that I bought the camera I'm from have access to my videos. You know how dangerous that is?
What me I say is, listen, I'm almost sure me go find out and make no know still. They not have access where they go in night every day. Not that they want, but what me I say is, them have to have access to some footage where you can go back to if something happen. Just like outside you go to a store and something happen. The store might not have it, but the company them have it. You never hear of this yet?
Mama, may I try to tell you how we go again? Listen, if you buy a personal camera, nobody have access over that camera except you. If you have a problem with the storage in your camera where you want to go in your storage and find some things and you don't know how to do it, yes, the company might give you information on how to restore and retrieve that storage, but the company do not have any control or have nothing to do with your storage in your thing.
Okay, so same way how they can give you advice as to how to retrieve whatever was deleted. Why they can't give advice as to retrieve whatever may have been
Because it was a
deleted
baby
in this
monitor,
case?
not a camera to record.
Okay, I'm guessing wrong.
Let me try to explain it to you.
Not all baby monitors can record, miss.
It's like say you
I
have
said
to buy a
not
device.
all baby monitors can record on. Not all of them. You maybe have some of them that can record, but some of them can't. So you
Because
can't
we
say, oh,
have
it
a
record
minor
because you don't know
card,
what they
you want to
have.
tell about-
Exactly. No. Well, I'm not the one that you have can record. That's fine. But you don't know if the one that he had or they had could record.
Never go
You
check.
can't say because not all
Never
of
go
them
check.
can record.
Never go check for me when I go in Gaza. Because I have one where if the baby upstairs asleep, I have a downstairs I watch her. So if she
Yeah,
move,
you can watch it live, but that doesn't mean say it record everything what happened.
exactly. I have to go find
And
the
that's the
video and record.
presence.
I don't know about that one there.
I don't know about it neither way. They no record. Cause you can go back go watch videos. So are no recording that?
Listen what me say. Me say not all of them can do it.
You get what you're saying. I understand. So I guess me wrong. You get what
Exactly.
you're
So,
saying.
What are the
all right.
things, so?
For example, For example, say if you got this one buy a when I be money for $30, you probably not gonna be able to record. If you buy one for $50, $100, maybe you'll be able to record. It just depends on what they had.
Okay.
Me
Me get her now, say no.
Yeah,
I
man.
just
Don't
want to
I?
say there are cameras that are like live stream cameras, right? We
Okay.
know that, yeah, where it's just live stream cameras. There are also cameras where you need SD cards, right? However, let's just say that because we're hopping over a very important factor, which is he is in charge of the system, and so
Said that.
these cameras, right, even though they may have SD card slots, it doesn't mean there was an SD card in place. And an SD card could also be removed because if someone has intentions, that's easily, they could remove it, right? So those things could, those things are factors. Right. So, yeah, I'm just going to go back on mute but you're talking about the camera. So I just had to say that
No, man.
there are
You
different
can go ahead.
types of
You can
cameras.
go ahead and with any other opinion that you had that you're coming for.
Yeah, I was saying that, pattern is a hell of a thing. Someone's behavior and the pattern of their behavior speaks more volumes than anything. And I'm sure that over a period of time, a lot of people, even who have watched videos of these individuals before and have seen certain little things, right? When you look back, this behavior isn't something that is new. Okay? It's not something that is new. The age of which this person, the age that he's attracted to, that's not something new either, right? I think that in our society, we have a lot of enabling. We also have a lot of folks that even in spaces like these, you have folks that are because I'm trying to be so careful with the words that I use on TikTok, right? I don't know if I can say or whatever. So I'll say PDF file. So there are a lot of people who we may be even speaking right now, and people who decide that they want to speak about it. They are PDF files themselves, right? Which is why you find that sometimes even having these conversations become very muddy and dangerous too, right? If we just stick to the facts, right? If we stick to the facts, which is this is a man who love young girl. This is a man where he pursues young women, young girls, I should say, not even young women, young girls. There's no excuse for pursuing a child. There's no excuse for even watching a child react to him, watching a young lady react to him, seeing how her body tenses up towards him. That says more than anything else. Okay? Now, when it comes to his lady, the fact that, the enabling happens, we also know that sometimes people are victims themselves. And so navigating these things are also, muddied. It's muddled, guys. It's like thinking that someone who has been raped or molested, I want to use certain words, but me kind of, but you know what me I talk about, because I don't want to trigger anyone either, because speaking about these things are also triggering for people, right? There are victims who after everything has happened, it's hard for them to even know what is right from wrong. They need to unlearn certain things because of their experiences. They, as someone says it, yes, Nisha, they think it's normal. They don't even understand. And that's why you have the Stockholm syndrome as well, right? Where someone may experience certain abuse and they love their abuser because they seek validation from this very abuser. Okay, so there are a lot of factors that we need to think about when it don't mean say she's right. It don't mean say it because right is right and wrong is wrong. But at the same time, we also need to look at all of these factors. The fact that this power thing, how is he in control of all of that? If there's a relationship, how is it that he has that much control over all that in the relationship? That speak ties as well. I mean, that speak volumes as well, right? And another thing is like, did I see right that he got food from her after the whole thing did go on? When he sat down and was eating that dinner, do y'all know what I'm talking about? Is because people say whatever. I don't know if it was true. Did she really give him food after all of that did go on? Or was that another narrative? I don't know.
Yes,
Because if she did, If she did, that also speaks volumes at control and power, right? Control and power and the power dynamic in the relationship, right? It also means that it's dangerous, because that means too that things could happen too that even she might cover herself. Because when someone is in the public eye, they will very much cover certain things because they have a lot to lose too. So all these factors need to be considered, don't you all think? Yeah, on a thing.
Yeah,
So
man,
no,
definitely.
all of these things need to be considered, and I think that when you have young girls and young boys, because in this world there is not just young girls that are in these situations, right? Young girls and young boys, when you have these situations, like, we have to really like stand in morals and value, because at the end of the day, we know how society is. We know that even going to the police department in some places and areas, that the very police that you go to and say, you know, this happened to me, they start looking you. I'll say that again. I'll say it again. We know that this world is dangerous, right? Just like you have PDF files right here listening to me speak right now, yeah? That you can go to the police and say, look, this happened to me. And one, they can even do the very same thing that just happened to you again, right there in the station, you know, that happens. Or two, they become a part of the problem by forcing you to relive this and traumatize you. Yeah, that's also another thing that they do, right? And they themselves are PDF files. They themselves are PDF files. Look at the fact that in Jamaica, why is it that the book that have the whole heap of name them in it, with all of the people them who, you know, did a whole lot of dirty stuff, why do you think it's not public, y'all? It's not public because who wants to hide them own, the people them in a certain position don't want people to know that they do those things. Because those things should be public, right? If we're really going to protect our kids, if we really are about protecting our children, this should be public, right? So our society fails our youth, our society fail our young girls, fail our young boys, and we enable. Enough of we enable because what, the man them probably have on like a bling or a couple followers, so you feel like that means something? You think it means something? You know, so let me I'm gonna mute up and then we can discuss and things. Sorry, I was so emotional and so but hello, it's our children.
Really?
You get me?
Every time she comes, she always, oh, I'm gonna mute. I don't want you to say. She always lay it down.
Do not do that, man. Brown Eyes, welcome. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, good afternoon.
I just wanted to say something on the camera topic that you were talking about before.
Go ahead, ma'am. No problem.
When the child first made the disclosure, she said that there's a camera in the room. Now, to me, that's her open that the camera would support what she was saying to the teacher.
Yep.
When CMR got arrested, he did admit that there was a camera in the room. And I think he admitted it because he knew that there wasn't anything on the camera for them to see. So he was literally just having the police going around in circles. Yes, there's a camera in the room. And then in the same interview, he kind of came out and said, oh, but the camera doesn't record. So who am I going to believe? Am I going to believe the person that did not know that the camera doesn't record, or the person that does know that the camera doesn't record? Because they were both using the camera as evidence. But the only difference is one person does not know that, yes, there's a camera in the room, but nothing is saved on that camera. And that's just all I wanted to kind of just bring to light. Because in every step of the way, what the child has said, she has basically spoken. There's no questioning what she said. She spoke everything, what happened, and what she believes. And that's why I believe the child over CMR. And that's all I wanted to say, really. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mama. So, based on what the Queen just said, it's either you take care or you leave it. But who do you believe? Somebody who is expecting the camera to show proof of what they're saying? Or somebody to say, yo, the camera is there, but it's not recording? Who you believe? Come on now, be honest. If me say, if Munji say, I'm really box me in my face. And me say, a lie, me no box in your face. And Munji say, one camera did it. And me say, yes, one camera did it, but the camera now work. And Munji when that hope the camera work because Munji want to say, look on the camera, you will see the evidence and box me. It's basically what this little girl did. This little girl I say, yo, the camera, there's a camera in the room, so video, go get the camera, you say, what may I say, I no lie. But him already know, say, him set the camera, he no catch nothing. Ah, boy. Jolene!
Joel.
You keep on calling. Oh, where Joel gone? Oh, Joel gone pan doctor.
No, I'm here.
Joel, why me always call you Jolene? I don't know why. Every time you come over here, I call you Jolene.
I'm not really fussy over it. I'm just
Joel,
yeah.
go on. Big up yourself.
Good. But let's say oppose the topic. Is it about CMR and Chrissy or the child or children? Who are we advocating for? I think most people unintentionally are advocating for CMR and Chrissy. Unknowingly. Right? Because I think people are just, I think for the most part, what I get to understand, people just want to see them drop off of the face of the earth. Them just don't want to see them do no more deals or whatever the case may be. Consistently forgetting that the children still live with them. Consistently forgetting that the children are still around them. Like, you're not solving the problem. Canceling them is not dealing with the children. If it makes sense. You get what I'm saying? And I think be reminded their children, it's kind of hard, and really and truly you don't really want to separate children. And you know, it's like you're caught between a rock and a hard place, but at the same time, I think for the most part, people don't understand that they're actually advocating for CMR and Chrissy to fall off while the kids are still around them. They're still possibly going to experience all of this. They're going to experience the backlash of all of this. Nonetheless, it's like they are still the ones facing it.
We don't care about other people's deals. Like,
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
All right, hold on.
We don't care about their deals.
Hold on.
No, we know that we don't care about their deals. We get that. But what I'm saying is, irrespective of whether or not they have deals, the kids are still there. And do you genuinely believe that this man is not still seeing those kids? Let us be honest. Do you genuinely believe?
Believe what? But how the deals come in with that?
No, what
like
I'm
I
saying,
said,
what I'm saying is, people are advocating for them to lose their brand deals and all of this and all of that. What I'm saying
as they should.
Right, but what I'm saying is it's still not solving the problem of them being, of the man still being around the children or the child in question. He's still around them. So
it's just two separate boxes.
Absolutely.
No one who does that to children should have no deal. That's it. Nobody.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's still solving the problem of him being around them. He's still around them. So the deals, that's what I'm saying. The deals have nothing to do with this. When I hear people come out and talk about, them to lose them deals and them deals, and it has nothing to do with this. We're talking about the children. At the end of the day, people, it's like people now focus. They're not focusing on the issue. This man is still around the children. Do you genuinely believe that him still now go around the little girl? Because even in the video, the little girl says she want help fix up the apartment where him live. Because Chris is still a good apartment. He's still around. He's still around them.
Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Because me hear people say, well, me ask, how do you know that the apartment that she's decorating is that apartment CMR lives in?
Because people are not stupid. People know how to.
No, answer my question straight. No, answer my question straight.
Right. So it's just an assumption for the most part.
And that's why we.
That is the issue. Cause you know why me ask? Cause I've watched the vlogs and I saw all the curtains and something. See how Chrissy go by. And when I watch CMR this morning, those are not the curtain. That's not the couch. So that's why I ask, how are you sure it is the same? Because she said she's going to take it up as a side job to start decorate apartments.
Right.
She said that couple weeks.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm asking, because you say assumption. Me not say no it, and me not say it. I'm just asking.
Right, it's just
How
based on
do
assumption.
they know?
It's just assumption because even in the video,
Because I don't think that me hear when me hear when she asks and I say, me can come to the apartment, me hear that, me see that, but you really think me see the other kids them around him, and me not see she. Me yet fi buck up a video with she around him.
I'm going to say.
So how do we know it's there?
I don't think if I was in her shoes, I would put it on video. I genuinely don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think it would.
No, we wouldn't put it on video, but
exactly.
That's why I'm saying until I see her in the same video with him, me can't say she go around him, but me know the other kids are go around him. Me see that. But people are assuming that it's the same apartment. Why? Because he's living in an apartment and she's decorating an apartment.
But let's
all right. Can I chime in with a different
point? My British friend coming. Come through, Queen.
Nick knock.
All right. Hi, everybody. I am not a fan with every nitty gritty of their lives, right? But if you can permit me, please, I want to go back to basics, right?
Yes, ma'am.
My focus is the child.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I find very interesting about the whole thing is this. I'm the person who said earlier I'm a criminal lawyer in the UK.
Yeah, man.
Right?
I know you are. Yeah, man.
I deal with everything. All right? And I find it strange that the complaint was made in or around the 1st, 2nd, wherever it was in November, well, when it became public knowledge. And we know by or around the 30th of December, the matter was discontinued, dismissed, whatever. He was not charged, because I hear a series of discussion online, and I think people conflate issues and they don't seem to understand procedures. I hear people say, oh, he's charged and he's been to court and he's dropped. My understanding is he's never been charged. He was arrested, investigated, interviewed. And I just find it strange how in America they drop those sorts of cases, or that case. Let me stick to the one that I know of in the public space. That case so quickly, because in my experience, that kind of complaint would still be going on right now. In that it would still be in the investigatory stages. In my experience, they would probably, the police would have gone online. The child abuse department within the police force in the area that's dealing with it would have gone, and they would have looked at, for example, the pranks that Reidy mentioned. I've also gone to look at those pranks when I recalled it, and looking at from my standpoint, because I was approaching the case from a standpoint of me representing him, and me looking at the holes, the weakness, you understand, the points that could be used to defend. Yeah. So that is how I approach every case. I look at the weakness in the prosecution's case. I've done both, but I only defend at this moment in time. But I've also done prosecution work. And so you look at the case from the strongest point against you, and then you start working, pushing back from that. And I was thinking to myself, within, say, 4 to 7 weeks of the complaint being made, is dismissed. So didn't they look at the pranks to establish, for example, manipulation, whether there's an element of grooming was going on, that kind of thing. And one of the thing is, in my experience, I'm going to speak from my experience. You have pedophiles, right, who will exploit anybody's children, online, content online, in reality, that sort of thing. Then you have the other pedophiles that will mess with the other people's children, not their own. Do you understand? Stepchildren, nieces, nephews, every neighbor's kids, but you don't touch your own. Do you understand? Because there's an element of detachment because they're not related to you in that way. Do you understand? And I found it strange in the first instant that it was dropped that quickly. And the next thing that I found strange, because I used to watch their content back in the day, because of course as a Jamaican, I'm super proud of, our people out there, living it large, doing well for themselves. I'm not one of them that's advocating for their brand deals to go and all that. I'm not into all of that, tearing people down. I'm all about, you've hurt someone, you've hurt a child, and you must pay the consequence, in law. But also, in my view, perhaps mother might want to consider whether or not she wants to align herself with him, whether or not the child is lying or not. Because you see, the difficulty I would find myself if I was his wife, if my child is lying, how can I have that child around this man that she told a lie on? She's always going to be looking over her shoulder. I'm always going to be side-eyeing him. And all of this is just so much in it that I wouldn't be able to be with him, irrespective of how much I love him. And I think she's torn, and she's one of many women that's in that position in this life. There's nothing special about the situation that she is in. Trust me when I say that. And I'm talking about as recent as 3 weeks ago, I represented someone exactly like that. He's gone to prison for many years, and I defended him, and I think the decision was right that the jury made. And his wife, she never turned up one day, but she's still right there in the background. So she's kind of distancing herself, but she's still supporting him. She's very much, they're still married, blah, blah, blah. So I'm told his sons turn up. Some are angry. Some of them are with him. This is an adult person who did this many years ago, 20 odd years ago. And the last child is now 20. It happened when she was 9, and then the last time when she was 15. She's now 22. So you're talking about 7-8 years ago, the last attack on one of his nieces. You understand? And so there's nothing special about what she is doing. I'm not mentioning her name, but I just think there's nothing special about her behavior at all. And we're outraged. Lots of us are outraged. But the reality is, what they're doing is nothing special. What she's doing is nothing special to many other women right now in Jamaica and other places in the world, i.e. England, where I'm based as well. But as a parent, I think, I would think your responsibility is to stand firstly with your child. So even if she's lying, she clearly needs some sort of reassurance to try and help her going further in her life. But if she's being truthful, how do you look at this person again? And I think even that interview with the Fix, because I watched that one because I wanted to see what he had to say. It was a pile of garbage, self-loathing, narcissists, the whole lot. I could give you so many, adjectives. There's just so much to it. That's just full of rubbish. And I just didn't see the point of anything that he opened his mouth. And I didn't see why they were just entertaining nonsense, which was annoying. But when you look at, I try to catch little bits and pieces from him. And I stopped watching his programs now because I just think it's a waste of time. You'd think he'd sit there and say, something, she misunderstood something. Nothing. Tight-lipped about it. She's tight-lipped about it, except they're just cursing people online and carrying on with nonsense. That's foolishness. Look after your daughter. And I just think the people who are saying, they're trying to tear him down or them down, they're just, it's that selective outrage, because when somebody else, if it was Joe Average in Jamaica did that same thing, they'd be out there saying, nasty, dirty man, wicked, you understand? But it's because they idolize, whenever Jamaicans idolize any celebrity, anybody they put on a pedestal, public figure, they struggle. Most of us, and I say us because I'm Jamaican, I don't idolize anyone at all in that respect. But, you know, most of us struggle to, Jack Cure was one of them, with a woman many years ago that he was convicted of raping. And lots of people, oh yeah, man, but him serving time. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. They're trying to brush this under the carpet. He has demonstrated no remorse, no nothing. He talks a pack of rubbish. And we all sit here going, yeah, should give him a break, should give him a chance. What for? The little girl, yes, she needs protection. But either way, if she's being truthful, she needs love and care and nurturing. If she's lying, the mother still has to stay away from him, because there's no room for the child and the man to exist in the same space, I think, but also in that child's life more so. And the mother would make that child feel less than. And I believe, because if you look at the girl's video when he interviewed her father daughter, she talks about being in her own space and how she processed things on her own. And it's like she asked herself questions and she answered the questions herself, because in essence, it's only herself. And she's basically that odd one out. If of all of the children, she's the odd one out. And maybe that's how she feels, why she talks to herself. She rationalizes everything within her head. Do you know what I mean?
Were you listening to me yesterday?
No. I don't always. I was at court last night till about Friday. Yeah, yesterday till about after 4, and then by the time I got home, it was like after 6, and it was gym time, and then blah blah blah. So the answer is no.
So,
I don't always. Honestly, Reidy, I do watch you sometimes, but I don't get to watch you all the time. My other half said,
the reason why me ask, you know,
yeah.
The video probably just dropped on. Was it in Mac? Was it coming home, or was it on? Yeah, it was coming home. I touched all of that point yesterday. Everything that you're saying. Exactly.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
So
my
that's
apologies.
So that's even means you're right on point, man. Go ahead, continue.
No, you're on point, bro. You're on point. Listen. The thing is, right? It's hard. I haven't. Okay, let me give you let me digress for 5 minutes or less, hopefully, and I'm going to watch the clock. Every single man I've represented to date who's accused of rape, in particular, Jamaicans said, oh, in the troubler, take the flipping word trouble out of it. It's either, let me educate some people who might not know, because you have quite a lot of people on here at this moment in time, right? If you have sex, put your penis in a child's vagina, it's rape. Anus, rape, right? It's rape. It's not troubler. You put your finger, it's sexual penetration. If you put a stick or anything inside any insertion, it's penetration. It's sexual. Yeah? If you're touching up the breast and all of that, it's a sexual assault. Jamaicans use this word, molestation, molest. He molested her. Even when it is as gross as penetration, it's molested her. The next thing that used to irk me about, I grew up in the ghetto, right? And my mother worked hard and brought us here and all of that good stuff. And all that, so I'm familiar with everything. She had take her mother man. How does a child take her mother man? You know what I mean? These kind of expressions that we have and ideas that we have in our head, we need to rid ourselves of them and transfer the weight where it belongs. He's exploiting, and lots of men and also predatory women, they groom the kids first. And I think I've heard that point being made by others before. You start the process. Some people will go straight in. Some people start with sweetie, and then it moves to ice cream, and it moves to little touch, and all these things. And over here, in my experience, not once I can recall in my many years any one man ever come to court on the first day and say, yes, I done it. They protest until the day of trial or somewhere in between. Then they say, I remember this one case, and I say this because I want some of you to understand, some of the men who are saying, oh, give him a chance and stand by him. I represented this chap in his 60s a few years ago. And I had lever arches. I don't know, I'm assuming about it. It's thicker than your usual folder. It's quite thick, lever arches. I had 2 of them full of witness statements, exhibits, etc., right? Documents that had to be read from when these girls were going to school. This woman was married to this man for, I think, about 40 odd years. She married to him when she was very, very young. And she had 2 children when he met her, 2 daughters. And the 2 daughters, many years later, complained. They were in their 40s when they made these complaints that he had done X, Y, and Z to them. Protested his innocence right to the bitter end. Well put together gentleman. Not going to say he's he's at the top of the range in terms of qualification. A tradesman type of guy, but he works in a good job in the council here in this country. And the man said, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. I turned up on the morning for the trial. Would you believe, on the morning of the trial, I spent the whole how many days leading up to it, preparing, ready, highlighted, put my little sticker. Of course, it's a weak case, I know, but he said, not guilty, I have to run. I have to run the trial. Turned up on the morning, sat down with he and his wife in conference. You know what the man said to me? I think I want to plead. I said, oh, why is that? He explained his reason. I said, right, I've got to write out what it is that you're saying to me now. And it means that you accept. And I sat down and I asked the judge for more time. And I sat down and I read every single statement that the 2 women made against him when they were kids. I said, they said that you've done this. Do you accept this? That. And I went through it. I've said to my opponent, the prosecuting counsel, I represent the Crown Court, okay? And I said to the prosecuting counsel, I need more time. There might be a possible resolution. I asked the clerk to tell the judge the same, because obviously normally, let's say if it's a 10:30 start, by 11:30, you're expected to get going. You know what I mean? Unless it's going to be resolved. By the time I finished reading all the statements to him, with his wife present, in the room, he said, yes, I want to plead guilty. I said, so you're accepting that you've done everything that they've said? Because to me, I want to be sure that you're fully accepting everything. And I got him to sign the end of the statement that I accept everything that they say in the statement. The wife stood there in the conference the entire time. She had her hand around his shoulder, on his shoulder, stroking his head sometimes, pacifying this man throughout. And, of course, we're trained here to be poker-faced and all that good stuff, right? And she stood there the entire time. So, and I say that to make this point. Empathize with why this woman is taking this stance with her man. Yeah? We might not agree with it. We believe that the child should be protected, and all of them. Over here, he wouldn't have access to the children like that, at least whilst he's on bail. He'd be on bail for at least 3 months. And they'll be taking his phone, they'll be taking the kid's phone, they'll be seizing every camera, and they'll be looking at every camera, and they'll be trying to see if they can they'll prevent mother from possibly not they wouldn't necessarily separate mother from the kids of such, but they would interview all the children on video, interview all of them to see if there's just to kind of get to grips with what's happened, if anything that has happened. And you think about the point that I made earlier about the child being the odd one out. You remember there's a prank that she made with him, when he made a prank with her, when he said he was pretending to talk to somebody or whatever it is that he did. And she was in the vehicle with him. She went back home. She didn't tell her mother, She told her.
I did a video on that. I did a video on it.
You did the video, Janelle. And is it Janelle? And she talked about, is there a little sister that told mom, not the big one. And what that told me, that scenario tells me is this. The child is scared of her mom, besides the fact that she went and told school, which tells you there's a breakage somewhere in the connection with her and her mom. She's scared of her
I don't
mom.
mean to cut her, but you said you watched the prank. What did the big girl do?
Sorry?
What did she do?
The older girl, when she was in the vehicle with the stepfather.
Yes, I know. When she got in the house, what did she do?
She didn't tell. She told her little sister. She didn't tell her mom, if I remember correctly.
She did something else.
Remind me. Sorry.
She went and cried.
Oh yes. I can't remember all of these information.
She went and cried, and he said to Chrissy that go and call her because she's crying.
Ah, yes. Yes, because she was upset, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she told her sister, didn't she?
Yeah, she told her sister.
And her sister then told the mother, didn't she?
She went and told her mother what the sister said, but they wanted she, the bigger one, to come and tell her.
Exactly. But and did she?
No, in the end, because she told them it was a prank.
Because
after she was crying.
Because the mother was kind of roughing her up a little bit to get it out. Or tell me what's wrong. What if I remember correctly, something like that had happened, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the point I'm making is the child is the odd one out. She's the outsider. She feels like from the outside looking in, them and me and them over there, me over here, and so that might explain a lot of things about, for example, the going to the school and also the support that she needs from everybody else other than her mom, possibly. Anyway, Reidy, thank you very much. I didn't mean to take over your show.
No. That was fine, Mama. No problem, man. Thank you for coming and speaking.
You know, I remembered when I was growing up, my mother had 5 of us. And I remember growing up, my mom only dated one guy. And they were about to get married and she never bothered to get married. And the other day, I talked to her about it. You know, just to fasten her business a little bit. Just did I talk to her about it. I'm asked her, why is it that you never bother get married to him? Or, you know, like, why is it that you never continue the relationship? And she said to me, the number one reason was that she never did want to compete with her for her love. You get me? I said she never want to feel like, say, her 5 kids them in a competition with a man for her love.
Yeah.
That was one of her reasons. And the second reason was that she said, all I want a girl pitney. And she said, this man is not enough father. And she said, then there's me, well, of walk half naked in the house. And me not like put on clothes. And no matter how me love pick up draft, me not like put on clothes. And she said, she never want to feel uncomfortable. Or she never want to go ears to the worst happen. And she said, because she said, whether it's lie or true, that I got just put her in a one position, in a one awkward position. And it's like, you go choose your children or you go choose your husband. And she said that is just one of the reasons why she just sacrificed, you know, dating and going out, and she just stick to her kids them instead of, you know, continuing the relationship.
You see, but where I think that is not necessarily the best way forward, in my opinion, is that she, as a parent, I think lots of times as parents, and I think Jamaican parents or parents on the whole, need to look at themselves in terms of how they are with the kids, because I know how rough my mother was, you know, and I know, you know, both parents, boot camp officer, there's no, you know, you can have a soft mother and a rough father, or vice versa. I had both, you understand? And my vibe is, your mother could have, because the thing is, you know, lots of women, you know, they're unhappy, but, you know, I mean, you look at it, because them not get no sex and no love and no this and that. They're just miserable all the time. And you think to yourself, if your mother did just reason with all of you and reason and make sure so the door, the chain of communication is so wide open, no awkwardness, you'd always be able to come and say to mommy, you know, so daddy did do a little thing that I never feel comfortable, or uncle so and so, or you know what I mean? You always keep that because it's not just about the stepdad or any guy that she's with, you know. It's about cousins, uncles, the next door neighbor, the school teacher. You want to make sure that your children on the whole are so educated on inappropriateness that they're educated, one, and two, the communication room is open so wide. They're so comfortable to know that come and talk to Uncle Reidy. If you can't come and talk to Auntie so and so, you know you can go to Uncle or Auntie so and so around there. But
yeah, my mother was like that. Just to let you know, my mother was like that. But what she was saying is, she have 6 girl pitney and she just don't want kind of man around me.
She don't want to take the chance.
She just don't want to take the chance. And she said she grow. She always say she grow. How much sexy girl pitney? She said the whole one educated and the whole one sexy. And she said Joel, she not like wear clothes. She love in her little shorts and brassiere and this and that. And she said she no want to make the man feel like say me need to start live. Oh, me not, you know, out of my comfort. And she made it clear she don't want a man round way. She just made it clear. She said if I don't, she said even my father when them divorced, she just move on with her life. She if he want to come, him come, but she not even force him on. Which she say at the end of the day, it is her duty to protect her children. And she said she not choose between a man and her kids. So she said she never. So even though we know that there was an open door policy and we could go to her about anything, at the end of the day, she said she would rather to be miserable and sexless than for in the house and she appear she have a little penis and man a touch we up. Then for me, I was always a child. And I was always a child when I always say, if you know, say probably if I do this, mommy I go feel away. Now imagine him probably start look for me a certain way, touch me a certain way, I feel like say boy, if I go to my mother, them relationship